Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me at Deb Chanel's 48th World. And I will be reviewing for you all tonight The Housewives of Atlanta, Season 8, Episode 17. And the title is Who's Been Naughty and Who's Been Nice? Okay. The whole scene is pretty much set in December because Phaedra is throwing a Christmas party for everyone in the cast of Atlanta Housewives, pretty much. I don't understand why she enlisted or enlist Dwight, her former friend who had been planning most of her extravagant type luxurious party events for her. As you can tell, from previous seasons when she had a baby shower that was really done flamboyantly, um, with no expense spared. And of course, she had the birthday parties for both Dylan and Aiden. And especially, I think it really was for Aiden's birthday party. I don't even remember her having one for Dylan. But I think she did. It was more like a coming out party for him or a baby shower for him, I think it was. I might be confused. That's how uninterested I am with this whole cast because I was in. I've been listening to a lot of people do their commentary about the Housewives, and I'm pretty much on the same bandwagon with them that they really need to recast everybody on the show because I'm tired of looking at them. If they ain't made their fortune and fame out of 7 seasons prior, then they don't manage their money well at all. Don't need to see Nene really back on here because she's going to come back thinking she's going to solidify herself as the matriarch of the whole show. We've been there with her, went down that avenue. She even left because she thought she was better than them. And I was team Nene all the way when she first started because I liked her atmosphere. Well, not her atmosphere. I liked her characteristics, her personality, and just how she commanded a room when she walked in. And she had already had some business experience of owning her own, apparel shop or boutique or whatnot. So she was, a woman who knew how to make money at any means necessary, as long as it was legal. And I commend her for that. And she had a boss attitude because if you don't care, if you can't hype your own self up and be motivated and very solidified in who you are, then who else going to do that for you? Other than your family, and good friends. But usually you need to have that within yourself. Um, so you can, feel good about yourself and do what you need to do, even if you have to do it on your own. So she's always, in my eyes, was seen as a boss chick. However, my opinions and perspectives kind of went to the wayside when she started trying to put everybody that started with her on the Housewives, the first group of women. She just really dogged them and thought less of them. And as she became famous, with some of her antics and her different little one word or three words sayings or phrases, she became a household name overnight. And she just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. And they kind of made us as viewers look on to think she was like holding the show together. But as she proceeded to go on into her own little world, with so many opportunities awaiting her, she kind of like put the show that put her on the map as a back burner. She just wanted to go forward, and not look back to where her stepping stone came for her to participate in all these different industry, different parts and plays and other opportunities in the industry for her to partake of. So I didn't like that at all. So my feelings for her pretty much went to not being a supporter of hers just because of her attitude and how she had shifted so quickly when fame was knocking at her door and she answered. So basically, like I said, the whole segment tonight was built around Phaedra and her throwing a party. Now, I don't know why she didn't have the party at her house or had it at another event hall, I never would have seen it being in Dwight's hair salon shop. I'm like, are we really that broke? Because the things that you were having, in past episodes and past seasons, they've always been extravagant, and they've always been at some type of well-known event place and dressed up, like everything, and the people that you had to help make that particular event special, we all know you get paid top dollar for it. So when you do something like ordinary people who's making maybe in the salary range of say 30,000 to 80,000. Well, no, not even really that, because I've seen some shops where nail salon shops or hair salon shops would have, nice things for their employees to partake of, like parties around Christmas time, or even, medical facilities, Christmas parties that they have it be hosted at a hotel or whatever. And I've seen them decked up to, to the nines. So that was just really poor pissed, because it's not like she was having it for her office affiliates at her firm, and they could have been there. They just didn't have camera time. But to go to a hair salon, and I'm pretty sure maybe Dwight does her hair. I guess I'm not sure, because he's known for owning a hair salon. I'm pretty sure he may have done hair in the past, but it definitely has, brought him or afforded him certain pleasures of doing other events around Atlanta for affluent type, individuals that know he's known for event planning, as well as, being a hair connoisseur and having his own shops here in the greater Atlanta area. So, but like I said, it just threw me off my rocker. So I'm like, but golly, the whole thing was centered around her and the feds coming to two of her cast members' homes that held some Apollo assets that can be liquidated into cash if gotten a hold of and sold to the right people. So it's basically a hearsay, she said, he said type episode or segment that they showed us. And pretty much let's go right on into it. The first scene takes place in Phaedra's kitchen. She's talking with Dwight over the phone about planning a holiday event. He's accepting the challenge, and they go back in past clips of how Dwight pretty much solidified all her previous events, and it was like a grandiose type ending, or well, beginning of her event as well as to the ending. Everything was done, like you were a king or a queen and you had those type of coins dropping them. But we can only speculate where all that money was coming from, and it's probably the money that was in us, alleged that Paulo had taken from all these elderly people, and embezzled money and that nature and stuff, and that's why he's in prison for it. And he'll be there for 7 more years. And then he has to pay some type of restoration fee for or damages to the people that I guess he had taken their money from. But she confirms all the preparations Dwight is going to do. They really didn't say where she was going to have the event, which I thought was kind of, skeptical. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I wonder where she's going to have it, because they really didn't say. He was just supposed to get all the technicalities taken care of, and she's just going to approve them and write him a check, or whatever. I hope he got a check from him. He be strung out like Todd over there in the corner and just got half his money. But anyway, they're talking. She leaves him with all the details to get back with her prior to them, I guess, exchanging monies. And then the scene goes to Candace coming out her home and getting into the car with Todd, or truck, and they're going to visit his mom gravesite. And with him being her only child, I don't know why I would have thought that he would have taking her body back to New York, you know, but evidently she didn't have any loved ones up there. She just probably had good friends and associates, but no family members other than Todd. So I can definitely see why, he didn't move his mama's body or any of that stuff that she had up in New York. He just brought it all the way back home, his home here in Atlanta, because I think he stayed in LA at one time before he got hooked up with some connections down here in Georgia. So I kudos for him, which I'm trying to figure. Okay, well he just took. I forgot when she was when her birthday was. So maybe he was just dropping off flowers because of Christmas time. Who knows? Maybe he was doing it upon the death of his mother around that time. Not really sure. I didn't really think about that when I was taking notes, but I just thought it was a very good piece, because piece of information to go back and reflect on and everything. And that Candy was supporting him throughout everything because she was riding or die for this man, honey. And they were just reflecting on her pregnancy as they were driving to the cemetery, and how she don't want to lose certain aspects of her body, and then but she wants her well, I guess I shouldn't say her. Todd didn't want her to lose the boobies that she had acquired through her pregnancy. They had gotten real big, and he wanted that because evidently she must have had a little bit of breast, but I never saw that on Candy, because I thought she had a full set of breasts too. Not voluptuous, but a nice set. But anyway, she was telling him pretty much, "Oh, I gotta chill." She was telling him that she wanted a full body makeover, because I guess she don't plan on having any more children with him. Because anybody would tell you, even a physician in the plastic surgery business, in reconstruction your body, make sure you pretty much have everything. You're pretty much done with the kid rearing or the kid wanting to have children. So we don't have to go back in, but just one time to straighten up your body and get it together. So, you'll be set for the rest of your life. But it was no need, if you're continuing to thinking you're going to have more children, to even do that. That'll be a waste of money and time and effort. So she's wanting a new construction of boobies. She wants some small, perky ones, big one, but not, really big, size double D's or D's type. She probably want a nice C cup, but sits up, real perky. Like, I don't know what Candy's shooting for, but anyway. And she wants a tummy tuck. She wants her tummy, real flat. And as we can see her today, she looks very well. So she got what she had paid her money for. Hopefully she can keep it, because God knows she liked to eat, and she has definitely made that aware to her viewers. So they finally get to the grave site, and he's getting out the car, pretty much. Well, no, that's not that scene yet. I'm kind of speeding up, but the whole idea, when they had their scene together, they were driving to the cemetery to put flowers on Todd's mama grave. So then the next scene comes in where Portia and Phaedra are meeting together. Portia has arrived over to Phaedra's home, and she's just checking on, as she said. Phaedra lives in Buckhead now. And I'm just dropping by, chilling, trying to see how you are during, the holiday season, this, that, and the other, chit-chatting. And she finally comes around to what she really wanted to say, was, she had saw on some blog or investigative type reporting blog or a video channel, or I don't know where she got the information from, but she had pulled it up on her telephone and showed Phaedra that, hey, did you know the feds were over at Candy's house retrieving some of Apollo's items that he had caught himself storing over there? And you would have thought she would have been a little bit more like, oh, girl, child, wow, well, oh, really taken back and really surprised, But she was all cool and collected. I'm like, girl, you just telling on yourself. You just telling on yourself that you did these things. You had already knew from previous conversations on different past episodes that this information had came out, that Paulo was going to all his little friends trying to hide this, that, and the other. Now, common sense would have been, You knew you were taping, Candy. You knew you was taping this show. You and Todd both. I don't know if it's scripted in, it's plotted, or what. Or y'all was just really stupid at the time. But if you know somebody's going to jail for doing that type of offense that Apollo was allegedly accused of doing, which they found evidence he was convicted of it, so evidently it was safe to say that he committed that crime because he's behind bars and he's paying for it. He's dutifully has went through 1 year. Okay, so he got 7 more to go. Compliments of his wife Phaedra. From what allegedly, everybody had said or we're talking about on the waves. Um, you knew that Candy had talked about it, and they had said that, well, maybe Cynthia's husband was saying that Apollo had left some stuff over their house, because I think Cynthia had said it too in some past confessions or whatever. But everybody knew. And that kind of bothered Phaedra too, because she was supposed to be close to these women, and not one time that they come up on a particular segment that they were showing us or they were taping for, that anybody came to Phaedra and said, Apollo left this over our house. Is that cool with you? Or, I just want to let you know because in case anything come up, da 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 da. So it shows me that they're really not as close as they want us to believe that they are. Because you would, even if you were having trouble communicating with one of your friends or whatever, you would still get them the courtesy to say, well, this, that, and the other. I'm just saying because, we were close at one time. Hopefully we can get back to that point. But I'm just throwing heads up at you. And the show wouldn't have been on camera. Okay? So I don't know who's being the shadier between the two when it comes to, well, between the three, I should say, between Phaedra or in Cynthia and Candy. I don't know. I don't know where the communication broke down, but usually when it's involving your husband and their comrades, you're usually going to side with your husband and keep your mouth shut. I don't know why it's like that, but they generally, that's pretty much like it is. But like I said, it's just is what it is. Neither here nor there. They know they've come over, they reap their products. Not products, but their they confiscated Apollo's property, which have become the property of the federal government now. They're going to go liquidate, get their money, and pay it to those victims that Apollo had definitely took advantage of, which is dutifully noted and dutifully should go to them. And if they can get any more from Phaedra, go ahead and get it there as well. So Portia called herself dropping that information off at Phaedra's house when she was calling herself visiting her good old friend. But basically, she was being messy. She was trying to be gossipy and, just trying to stir up some mess. But I guess somebody had to do it, so she gave it to us and then we got it. Do what we will with it. The next scene comes from Todd and Kenny finally gets to the cemetery. Go on, say their little spiel to Mama. What was her number? What was her mama name? We were just gonna call her Mama Todd Mama. Okay. No, Mama Sharon. I remember now. Mama Sharon. And Candy goes on to give us a throwback moment where she always said that Sharon always wanted us to have a child. She always was saying, when y'all get making us some grandbabies, this, that, and the other. They were saying she would have been a great grandmother, this, that, and the other, whatever. Moving on from that point. But it was a nice scene to have been shown. Let us know where she was for people like me. I forgot. Thought she was back up in New York somewhere, but she's down here with Todd. Todd can visit his mama in memory and in spirit anytime he feels like it. She's just a drive away. Then when they move on to Portia and Phaedra again, and still talking about the whole deal. Phaedra still not expressing any concern for her fellow friends, meaning Cynthia and Candy. Don't understand why this conversation wasn't had last episode when she called herself taking a little miniature baby gift over there to Candy prior to Candy, delivering birth. Why that conversation didn't come up. But, again, Phaedra was expressing that she was tired of people being in her business. They didn't mean her no good. This, that, and the other. Blase, blase. That's why I said everybody need to be recasted on the show. Give somebody else in Atlanta a chance to be on a reality show and be critiqued and scrutinized daily for whoever wants it. And let's move on because really the cast is very tiring. Then we move on to the scene where Matt and Kenya are involved. Matt's coming to her house. I don't know if he had a key. Like I said, it's supposed to be a reality show. It's supposed to be like knocking on somebody's door, ringing the doorbell, and then they find you, let you in, this, that, and the other. But like I said, Matt come on in, hollering to Kenya where she's at, this, that, and the other. She's telling him she's upstairs. He goes trotting upstairs, and he opens up his code, said, "Look here, baby, look who we got." Again, it's scripted because they had already looked at these puppies online or whatnot, and they weren't big enough to come home. They still had to stay with their mom, at least till they got 6 weeks old, just to be, cared for properly and making sure they get the first set of shots and everything's going groovy with them. The two puppies are named, I think Twirl is the girl's name, and King is a boy puppy. I hope she has somebody spaded or neutered because King is going to be trying to hump on her, if you know what I mean, when he gets that hormone thing going, because he's already tackling her already. But anyway, that was very sensitive. That was a thoughtful gift. Both of them kind of look like Velvet, her previous puppy that she had. So that was very thoughtful of Matt, and I hope he's gonna be there to help raise those puppies because that's a hot mess. A kid ain't never there, so why would you buy puppies for somebody that ain't really never there? So it was just weird, but that was a nice gesture of him buying a boy and a girl, and maybe that's synonymous for him saying he wants a boy and a girl from Kenya. Children, not pets, but children. Then we move on to, well, we still in that same scene. She's playing with the babies and letting them feel their way around the house, and Twirl is getting in trouble because she's already chewing on, her Giuseppe's or whatever. Then she's finding herself in her mama's closet, and Kenya had to go pull her out, saying, "Come on, you can't be doing all of this," and whatnot. And then once they're still like toddling around here and there, or patting around, I should say, Kenya goes on to enlist Matt's help with finding an appropriate outfit to wear. Now, at the point in time, she was calling herself going to wear a nice ball gown or evening dress and stuff. At least the hair that was laying out on her bed. I don't know where she come in as we go along into the segment. She come in a Grinch outfit. I'm like, what the? Too dramatic, Kenya, too dramatic. But anyway, she's letting Matt know about the feds being called to Cynthia's house and Candy's house. I think she was really focusing on Candy's house, but she still probably knows about Cynthia too because they talk. And just trying to say, when Phaedra get mad at you, she hold grudges, honey. And when she found out that Candy had, Apollo's little bike over there and probably some other items that probably didn't make the viewing for us to view on TV, she was like, well, really? No. But Phaedra, it has Phaedra's name all over it because they didn't know about it until they had brought it up on the show, and, they all divulged that information from Peter and Candy and Todd. And, that's when the feds like, okay, we can go get that. We know exactly where they are. We're going to go get it. We might not go get it now, but we're going to go get it. So, and that's exactly what they did. They waited, until they got Apollo doing a whole year's worth of time. And then they're going to come see Candy 2005 and go and get that from her and go and get that stuff from Cynthia's house that Peter was holding out for him. And they both feel that Phaedra was the conspirator who leaked the information or had given the information to the cops, which the cops gave it to the feds, and they came and confiscated the information and making probably threatening what's his name, Candy and Apollo about holding on to stuff that they knew they had asked them about earlier on when the investigation was going on with Apollo. So I don't know if any laws were violated or whatnot, but I'm sure they took care of it because it wasn't in the news. well, news that they were getting served with papers or whatnot. So I guess they cooperated with them, as well as Cynthia and Peter, and everything was collected, and they probably got a stern and talking to, but it is what it is. It's history now. So the scene moves on to Cynthia and Mel. Cynthia's trying to get back in the groove with loving her husband, not just in spirit and in the heart, but actually physically. Because, she had told us some time back in another season that she wasn't feeling, probably in season 7, I believe it was, that she wasn't really feeling Peter. The love was lost. Peter had took her on so many different trips that she didn't ask to go on, but he had to drag her there anyway. We're talking about infidelity. We're talking about money being mismanaged, draining her bank account, and then, helping out Pole Apollo, bringing the feds to their door. And, the one she put, and, the lying that he was doing as well, and being defensive, where she had to be looked at as the doofus in the relationship, and that she was being taken advantage of by her husband, and it just wasn't a good look, and it brought her a lot of hard feelings. So when you go through a lot of stuff like that, no, you don't feel like participating in sexual activity with your husband when he's been found, or allegedly found, to have been cheating on you, and it's been uh, drugged through the media for everyone to see, and people to come up to her, people that she know and don't know, expressing that your husband is a cheat, this, that, and the other. Then you got video footage of what he's saying that you can definitely see yourself that's being done inappropriately, and just like I said, making a fool out you. So you know you were trying to recharge or put back some emotions that you supposed to have for your spouse to the day you die, and it was a piss poor job that was done. Mallory helped you out as much as she could, but when it was time for you to set the stage in motion, you know, he was too rushed about the whole thing. He just wanted to get busy and get on down to the nitty gritty, but you was trying to slow him up, let him, absorb everything that was going to be done to him and all that. And then after you got him simmered down and he started enjoying stuff and wanting you to massage the front and all of this, lo and behold, Leon and your daughter Noelle walk in. Then it was just a hot mess. It was not executed well at all. But then we have to think you're still being filmed, and I don't know if it's a camera that we use to vlog and you just have to record all the stuff, or you actually have people around you that we can't see while y'all are filming, and like are behind the scenes, and you're doing this act. And I was like, that I couldn't have done that. If I could do it if I'm just being taped and I'm taping it myself. But if you're having people standing around while you're doing all that massaging, and you were massaging in that nice spot, that you would do behind closed doors, then I don't know if I could do all that. But you more woman than me. And that was pretty much of that scene. Then we have the next scene following back over to Portia and Lauren. Portia takes her sister Lauren to the OBGYN office. I want to say the doctor's name was Dr. Jenkins, but I'm not sure. This is a physician or a specialist she went to when she was trying to have kids with her previous husband, Cordell. And she helped her with some fibroid issues that was preventing her from having babies. And once they got all that worked out, she had surgery. Pretty much her marriage, she tried to have another baby, and I think she had a miscarriage again. And shortly after that, her and Cordell wasn't a team anymore. They had got divorced for irreconcilable differences or whatnot. He just didn't want Portia no more. So pretty much she had went to the doctor there, and the nurse was asking her questions that only she would know, and she wasn't answering them correctly. And I was like, well, what is you talk? What is you? She having a thought moment. And I forgot the other question, but I did remember one. She was asking Portia when was her last cycle, And then Portia looking out, in the sky or the roof, just everywhere instead of answering the question. I mean, nobody else know. Your sister don't live with you. Like what are you doing? And she's talking about, oh, these are questions that are just so personal. I'm like, boo, if you want to have a good complete exam with your physician, you have to tell them the truth. Even it does may sound stupid to them, maybe sound silly, or you're just embarrassed. But how do you think they're going to help you and provide the best medical care for you if you don't give them all the information? I'm like, did your mother not go over this? And I don't want to bring your mother in it because, even though a mother can and a father can raise their children, sometimes their children still don't act right. It ain't like they weren't taught right. But, I'm still getting over. I'm not really getting over. I'm just stuck there still. Of the Underground Railroad that you actually thought existed with a train and a caboose and a conductor. I digress. I've got to move on. But anyway, had a thought moment. She couldn't tell the nurse assistant or the nurse for Dr. Jinx. I think that's her name. And it's just like, but anyway, she found out, she did some tests on and found out that she does have fibroids. The fibroids have come back, but it's not a bad thing because they're the size of a walnut and can be removed. And she doesn't anticipate or seeing anything that will stop her from having her own children and carrying to term her own children. So that was a good thing. But again, she's still in this thought moment mentality because I'm sitting there like, okay, I understand if you were going to her to just have a checkup to determine whether your fibroids had come back. I understand that. But why would you even bring up children to her that you're ready to have them when you don't even have a partner? I don't know how long, because you were just dating this football player or baseball player. So I'm not really sure how Oliver came into play, but Oliver don't seem like he care for you like that. So why you anticipate? I mean, of them are dreams, honey, and you spoke it into the atmosphere, and for the Lord to hear and all of this, then you do you. Because I'm not gonna block anybody's blessings. If you speak it out, you believe it, you will receive it. If the Lord agrees with it, okay. That's all I can say about that because I'm still over just thinking a rational mind. Most of the time when people go to the doctor, talk about children, they're in a solid relationship. They've been with this person, they build with this person, and their mate is usually with them because they're wanting to know the odds and the chances of what can they do to conceive. Whether they're married or not, but they're in such a tight relationship that they feel marriage is going to be in their futures as well as this child they're trying to have. But Portia didn't have none of that going on in that type of alignment. So again, I'm done over with that one. Okay, then we move on to Dwight and Phaedra. Phaedra's dropping over to, amazingly, his hair salon. So I'm like, wait a minute now, and he got it all dressed up for a Christmas festivity or a Christmas front scene for all his paying customers, I'm thinking, or I was assuming, but then they started moving the hairdressers or dryers off to the side and try to make more visible space for people to mingle around and for them to have the different setups for the bar area, the food area, and the dancing area. I'm like, wait a minute, this clown is trying to throw an extravagant party, but it's not even on the caliber type of styling that she did in the past when she was rolling with Apollo and spending all these people's money. Okay. So I'm thinking one thing, and I'm pretty sure y'all are thinking one thing. But maybe justice system is not over with. But we don't need to have Phaedra mama taking care of them kids. Definitely not by herself because she's old and she needs to be off camera and doing all of that. So I guess you can't have one parent in jail while you got you can't have two parents in jail. Somebody need to be there to to raise the babies. So That was a hot mess. And when I saw it and it was his little spot he decorating up for her, I was like, why Phaedra go through all this nonsense instead of her having a party at her house or just letting us know up front this is the event where we're having it at. So we can go on and get our chuckles, our kikis, and just say how far she has fallen from the castle she was once putting herself in and her pedestal. Whew, poor woman. So anyway, we move on to that. She's basically approved all the specifications that she had made with the white he had certainly delivered for her, and that joke was even up being a DJ. I like, that's too much. But anyway, he had everything very festive in his hair salon transition, or what do you call it? I guess you call it transition from a hair salon to a winter wonderland with all the things a little kid can look forward to. And all of that jazz. And that's pretty much it. Everybody started. Next scene was showing everybody coming on down to the old shindig she had put together. And I'm sure they wanted to chuckle about it as well, but they didn't say anything on camera. They probably took it all in, stride, and probably had their little kikis and going ons and comings as they were going home. Talks with themselves about it. Everybody's mingling, talking in each section. We had one section where Tammy was invited to the party, Phaedra's good friend, and she was accused of having sex with Bob Whitfield, and because he had led her to believe this, but they got it on camera. And because Tammy went over there and asked him, how things were going. They were getting kind of a little chummy and everything, but they were friends. And Sheree, caught a eye glimpse of it, and she hightailed it over there. And I'm like, you can tell she desperate. And if she is just marrying that man as a ruse just to get him back to put her in that Chateau Sheree mansion, then she's gonna fall harder than she has to, because she's not using her senses at all. So it made me think, to call into question her morality, and why is she saying she wants to get back, or if it was to get back, it's because she want to do it for her family and all this stuff. But no, you don't. No, you don't. You just want to get back in the limelight and get around, the people that he hang around that are still affluent and have a little bit of money, and you just want to run that circle instead of doing you, getting what you need to have. In case it don't work out again, because again, that's not 100%. And usually when things are done wrong and you've done wrong in a marriage, there's no need to go back. It's just no need, because your son has definitely grown up to be a handsome young man. No attributes, facial or outside attributes of Bob Whitfield. He looks strictly like you, and that's a good thing. I haven't seen the daughter, the young daughter. I see the eldest daughter, but for a previous relationship, but I haven't seen the other one that you had by Bob. So I guess she's doing the right thing, which is staying off of camera, because she don't want to be in this hot mess. Because that's all it looks like. It is. It's a hot mess. So I commend her for that. Kudos, honey. Kudos. But then we go over to the good old guy club. You got Todd. You got Peter. You got Nene's husband. And I think it was, I want to say Matt. And they were all mingling, talking, and Peter has a sidebar with Todd, telling him, did you ever get that stuff straightened out with Phaedra? Because you never told me anything, you never, caught up with me. And so we can have that conversation. You like, man, no, well, I ain't gonna say that. I got half my money that she owed me, but she's still holding on to that other check. Like, but he went on and said, a loss is a loss. He don't give a crap, which he do give a crap. He's still trying to talk about it during the reunion. But it is what it is. As you can see, she didn't have a good place to host her Winter Wonderland holiday extravaganza. So you can see she ain't got no money. She trying to pay that mortgage or whatever on that house. So it is what it is. And I don't see her got any clients worth anything. So then we have the mingling with I think it was Cynthia, what's her name, Kenya, Gosh, I don't know who. No, it wasn't Tammy. I forgot who it was really, but they was in boss together, and what's the name? Phaedra came rolling over there to see what the ladies were talking about, and they were saying, they were discussing how the feds had showed up at Candy's house, and they wanted trying to figure out who told. And of course, Kenya, she get the award for being messy and gossipy. She just went on and throw that Phaedra stove still and said, do you know who could have probably did that and stuff? Honey, she just said, okay, gotta go, and moved on, honey. She knew she had did or she had somebody to do it. That was all written all over her body language. So Nene and then Candy was having a seat because she needed to sit down, get off her feet, and resting and trying to chit chat that way. Whoever wanted to come by her. Nene came strolling by, wanted to, get a little conversation in and some filming time, I'm sure, with Candy and just chuckling and carrying on and want to get some tea on the event with the feds being at her house. Want to get her take on it and then get some more information she can go and gossip about with Greg and her little entourage. And she said she don't know who could have done that, but she's speculating, and she's putting it at Phaedra door because they're not as cool. Just like I said in my last review, she made her way over to see Candy, but she just wanted to say it so the viewers couldn't say anything shady to her, or the cast couldn't say anything shady. So she just made that visit just for FYI reasoning, and she's looking at Phaedra from a different set of eyes. I can just say that much, and she's not being trustive, and she's not being trustive of Nene. So she got her guard up on everybody. She kind of viewing everybody in different perspectives. So it is what it is. Because like I said, all of them need to be recasted. Candy definitely have gotten her free publicity for all of her many adventures, financial avenues she's going through. She's definitely gotten good, we call it marketing attributes from it, and revenue coming from her being a walking billboard for all her advertisements and being able to show them globally to her fans and viewers of the show, giving them a reasoning to buy her product because she's selling it on the show. So that's just good advertisement as we speak, because this show is being broadcasted throughout the world. So what better advertisement than word of mouth? Okay, so she's done made what she needed to make on the show. Nene has definitely had her time on the show, have definitely made other business contacts that should take her for a lifetime. Portia, she's on a good show, radio hosting and hosting other events throughout Atlanta. She don't need to be on the show no more for us to roast. We definitely don't need to see Phaedra no more, because without Apollo, she don't have a storyline, and don't nobody really want to film with her, because she even dog poke Kim Fields out. Kim was just reaching out as a concerned mother and concerned member of the cast regarding everything she's heard and seen herself of things that have transpired with Phaedra being the sole provider for her family with her two boys and not having a man figure in the home. And she just hoping that, she would lean on her for any concerns or anything she possibly would need as far as father figuring. Kind of Phaedra shaded her like, she just wish people just get out of her business, because Phaedra do have somebody. And she just don't want it be known until her divorce is final. But I'm sure Apollo's going to fight it as dirty as he possibly can, because Phaedra's doing things dirty. And it's just a hot mess. So that was about it. And Bob had to come to grips that he may or may not have slept with Tammy. Tammy's saying she didn't sleep with him. And I quite frankly believe her. She might have had some moments with him per se, but I can't even really look at her and how she was expressing herself on camera, that could have happened. So I think it's more so he may have wanted it to happen. She might have flirted with him here and there, but nothing really happened. But he used it and got Sheree all twisted up in the mind about it, where she thinks she had to go defend them. Quite frankly, I think they are a good fit because they're both mean-spirited people. You know, look how he treated her when she was trying to get him to pay child support. He going around playing as his own lawyer and winning cases, and licking out his tongue at her and carrying on. I still haven't forgot that. That's a memory that's gonna be lodged in my mind for a very, very long time. But like I said, they're kind of mimic each other, so they deserve it. I just hope the kids are old enough to where they can make their own decisions and move far away from them, because they're just the things that they're showing me on TV of their morals and their characters. It's a lot to be left in question about. So, hey, hopefully they have other people they can look up to that surrounds them. Um, I think that's about it. Cause the whole thing sets where they go back and tell you what's going on. And like I said, I'm really not into Sheree antics, because she either gonna be with the man or not. She knows what kind of man she has. If he's trying to improve and work on himself, then that's a good thing. But she has to do the same thing. She has to look in the mirror and recognize her flaws as well. And then maybe they can pretty much understand one another better to where they are now, and they need to seek counseling and be truthful with what really upset it and broke them up from the first time, because it just seemed like she was too much. She was running after these women he was pursuing, the women that he was throwing in her face that he could have been fooling with, and she going around confronting everybody instead of dropping that joker like a bad habit. You know what I'm saying? And all the ways of trying to say she need to drop him. But anyway, we go on, and he tells pretty much Sheree he lied. They didn't have anything. Then he goes back and say, that's my past. Let's not bring up that. Let's just leave everything in the past. I asked you to forgive me for it. You say you did. That kind of. I don't think he's doing is just smoothing shit over. He's smooth shit over. He done did something. Like I said, even if they did sleep together, he done made some passes, and probably they weren't warranted, and she didn't want it. So. But he ain't being truthful. So again, like I said, you know what you're dealing with. Kenya comes in. She's dressed like the Grinch and all this kind of stuff. I don't know why she came as the Grinch. I couldn't stand that makeup. She could have just came as one of Santa's helpers, but that's how she wanted to roll. Move on with it. We went over that part. Okay, went over that part. And everybody's partying pretty much. And towards the end, Phaedra's asking everybody to come down to what she's deemed as the dance floor. They do their little skit. Chris shows all his dancing ability since it had come into question, which, like I said, I never saw from day one. He seems like a man who's, very talented, and he never showed on camera that he was feminine, his feminine ways, or had feminine wiles about himself. No, he just seems like a smart, intelligent man, and he does what he needs to do to provide for his family and find some joy into some of his careers. But they did the preview of everything far as at the end of each season. As you know, they go and give us a little spiel of things that they're going to be working on, or they're being a part of as this show closes or this season closes, and hopefully they renew it and they get another season tacked on, or the show is just ending, this finale, that's it. I'm hoping that they do recast the show because they need it. I'm tired of going over the same old stuff or seeing the old stuff in my mind and have to I don't know, process it, I guess you could say. But anyway, basically, once they get finished, they roll those clips on what and who is doing what after the season has ended. Kenya's getting close to moving into her home. They're expressing that the one room that definitely will be fully ready and movable. Well, not movable, but to able to be moved in right away and do whatever things they need to do in that room is a nursery. So evidently she must be expecting. Congratulations, lady. Kim Fields will be appearing in Dancing with the Stars as a contestant. So kudos to her. I never really seen her dance before, but maybe that's something we have more to see on Miss Kim Fields Morgan. Again, Candy is having her baby. She don't know who called the feds on her as of, I guess, still to this day. But she has a speculation. She knows. Portia, she's appearing on the next season of Apprentice, so that's a step up for her, and it's only for charity type issues. But I'm pretty sure she's gonna get sent home, probably if not that first showing or maybe the second one. She ain't gonna be that long. And Cynthia is has launched her eyeline wear, and hopefully she'll be very prosperous with that as well. So at the closing of my review on the Atlanta Housewives season for 8, episode 17, I have 3 awards that I am presenting to 3 people. The award goes to Portia as being the dunce of the whole season. She never pulled up for any reason at all. And she really solidified herself as a dunce when she went to the doctor's office and wasn't able to basically say anything of pertinent information that the nurse or the doctor was requesting of her that she should have known. So I'll be shipping this to Portia address. Okay. But any of my followers, if you're close friends with her, let her know Deb Chanel's 48's World have a award for her as being the dunce of the whole show. Okay, for season 8. We have the Mean Spirit Award, and this is going out to Phaedra. Phaedra, we're gonna be sending you an award as well. Okay, because you definitely was a real itch after Apollo did what he had to do, and you felt that everybody had abandoned you, and you never pulled up. And I was hoping for you to pull up and get it together, but you never did. You never did. And you showed your true colors at the very end of taping. So we're going to give you the Mean Spirit Award. That should be coming. Anybody want to reach out to her and do like Andy had accepted the award and come pick it up, and from me, that'll be fine. I'll leave my address and telephone number where she can get that, if that's a doable thing. Then we have the Get Over Yourself Award, and that goes to a newcomer back to the show, which was for Cherie Whitfield. And she really established this award in every sense of it, because either you're going to be with the man or you're not going to be with the man. But do not make him your storyline as things continue to flourish if there is a season 9. Okay? So let your friends know, because I'm in Atlanta when you all are in Atlanta. So, I can meet you anywhere you want to meet in Buckhead or... or, I'm pretty familiar with everything that's in the greater Atlanta area. So you want to Get Over Yourself award, anybody know her personally or whatnot, just reach out to her. Tell I got an award waiting for her. Okay? All right. That is all I have, y'all. I look forward to seeing the reunion show. Shouldn't be but what? A good 30 minutes worth of full action pack. And, it is what it is. We'll do a little show, we'll do something kind of special that day too. All right. But thank you for tuning in to Deb Chanel's 48's World on the review, the last review of the season, which was titled Who's Been Naughty, Who's Been Nice, season 8 finale, episode 17. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a good day at work tomorrow. Good work week. Be safe, be vigilant, and be encouraged as always. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.